Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody podcast. So today, ladies and gentlemen, today we have something special for everybody. When I say we have something special, that means we have somebody special. We have a creative director, an entrepreneur, founder of Leaders, proprietor in Bronzeville, a lot of other things I can go on and say. Ladies and gentlemen, today on the show we have our first guest ever, Mr. Corey Gilkey. Welcome to the show.
I guess we on Iverson, I look at numbers as like Hall of Famers sometimes, So number 3, Ivo.
There you go. Man, Iverson ain't had nobody that hooped with him. That's the thing that held him back his whole career. But
he didn't help, and nothing held him back. He did what he was supposed to do. A little giant. You know what I'm saying? He inspired those who knew what he did, what he sacrificed. So that's my guy.
There you go.
Ivo.
I'm a Hoya fan too, so.
I think everybody was in the 90s.
80s.
I was a Tar Heel, sorry. No.
Ah, no.
Yeah, I'm sorry, no.
Iverson, Victor Page.
All right, I gotta go.
Victor Page now has one eye.
North Carolina with passion.
Vince Carter, when they kissed the floor, I cried, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, you cried yesterday too.
I cry all the time now. I cry all the time.
About 21.
So Corey, we like to start off each show just talking about something we've been on this week, man. So what you been on this week?
Oh man, this is like my 4th meeting today. This past weekend, you want to go back in that?
Let's do it.
The collaboration, the Blackhawks, New Era. Thanks to you, my friend, and Brad Sweet and Diego Ross. What more can I say? Made history with that, design and collaboration with an NHL team and, the best New Era Capco, 100-year company, first baseball hat. It's an honor. We did that. That was kind of crazy because, I usually have like 2 days off before I come in the store. I had to be there like 3 days in a row.
Yep.
4 days maybe. Cooking Friday, and we just have a lot of opportunity to expand right now. We're getting catering jobs at Freestyle right now just from cooking.
Well, tell us more about that.
So we have a pop-up restaurant where we move around to different restaurants or different friends who have restaurants, and we collaborate or we create dishes for our family and friends and people who love what we do. Having fun, creating an atmosphere of good food, good music, being around good people, networking. It's been successful for us, so now people are calling us for catering opportunities. So we have to kind of rush that. So that's been my main focus this week is really implementing the business end of that, getting the team together. So if we have to cook Friday, we have to do a catering service Sunday, and then we were offered another location to do a brunch also. So they want us to take over their Sundays. We take over, Jerk Shack Friday nights. Then we have opportunity to do a 3-hour, 5-hour shifts catering. So it's growing substantially. And so we got to monetize that right now.
And good. I think that's perfect. We want to talk about that a little bit more as we get into the show. Just talk about how this opportunity, how the whole concept came to life. And then we can talk a little bit about how you've grown that and some of the other businesses you have. Because you have a lot of, almost a renaissance man of some sorts for all the things you do. And just the stuff we talked about yesterday didn't know. So we're going to get into that a little bit deeper into the show. First, Joy, what you been on this week?
Oh, well, I got to follow that, but okay. I've been on something very simple, which is the show Master of None. I watched the show because Aziz Ansari, the whole date and all that. So I'm like, let me check this show out, And it was really good to me. And it was very, very, very pleasant. It's relatable. It's good. And I just didn't understand where that came from. It almost seems like he's playing himself when you watch the show, so it made her look even more bogus, but maybe she wasn't bogus. Let me put the disclaimer, but whatever. But I think that's what I've been on. I just been binge watching that and just really enjoying it. But I will add this, that the last episode, he does kind of talk about the sexual harassment component. So it made you a little bit think okay, is he reflecting on himself in a way, or is he just bringing up that this is a part of the industry, which you don't know. So.
I saw it more as irony, less foreshadowing, but it's crazy to see how that all came together.
I like the show too. I think it's a cool show, and it can't be him because he's probably one of the few guys who can go to Rome for 2 months.
Yeah.
Barcelona for another 3.
Yeah. I'm
rent
here.
someplace and just eat at the best restaurant.
Yeah, make pasta. Like, okay, I wish I was you.
Yeah, exactly.
Dope. So, Joy, you know what I've been on this week?
Oh, what is it?
Well, I've really been on almost for the last 14 weeks. It's our little bundle of joy.
Oh,
cooking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. So, decided to do our first show with video, and as you can tell, my beautiful wife is 14 weeks pregnant. 14, right?
I'm actually 16, but
Okay,
good job.
16 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
All right.
At least he knows.
He close.
Round up.
Like, I squeezed into this leader shirt for Corey. I squeezed in. I'm trying.
She told me on Christmas Day, I woke up in the morning and it was like a jewelry box, almost like for a tennis bracelet. I'm like, did she give me a bracelet or a watch? That's a weird gift to get. I opened it up. It was a positive pregnancy test. So
Good gift.
Yeah. So like any other man, I said, all right, we need to go to the store to buy several more pregnancy tests to make sure this one is correct. And that was our Christmas. So
Yeah.
blessings. So
We're close together. Y'all doing the right thing.
there we go.
Thank you.
That's the plan. We only have to go to one school for report card pickup.
Hopefully, yeah.
That's the plan. They both better be the same level of intelligence. So we don't have to do that, which I think is a good segue into our show today. So what we want to talk about today is, you could be whatever you want to be as long as you're good at it. What really sparked this show is watching the Chris Rock tambourine special on Netflix. He had this whole bit, he had this whole joke where he's taking his daughter to freshman orientation in high school, and one of the vice principals say, hey, we really want these kids to know they could be anything they want to be. And Chris Rock's whole thing is, shut the fuck up. Did you really want to be a vice principal when you grow up? Did you used to dress up and put on your vice principal hat? He was like, the reality is, tell your kids the truth. Hey, check this out. You could be anything that you're good at, but even then, it helps if you know somebody to help you get the plug on that job. So for me, it was really fucked up to hear him say that, because it was like, how are you going to discourage a kid? But really, when you think about your life, it's true.
Well, I thought, too, a funny part to the joke was he was like, you can be anything that you're good at as long as they're hiring, which is also like a component of it. But that people just don't tell you, you just think, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get my dream job. It just don't work out like that. So when you were a kid, what was that anything that you thought you could be? Like, what was that?
So Corey, what was that for you? When you were a kid, when you were 10 years old, 10 years old, what did you want to be?
I was going to be an athlete. I was going to be playing pro sports.
Which pro sport?
Baseball. Mostly. At 10, I don't know. It might have been football. They had football, baseball. It changed during different age cycles for me.
What point did you decide on baseball?
I would say 13, 14.
Why'd you choose that one?
It was just what I did all the time. I was good at everything, but it's just something I wanted to do. I'll probably play a huge homage to that to probably be Ozzie Smith. Like, we idolized him growing up.
Yeah.
Switch hit, shortstop, slender, smaller, and do it all. So,
backflip.
Yep, all of that. So, yeah, that's basically it,
Yeah, how far did your baseball dream take you?
To college. So I graduated Southern University, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We won 3 straight SWAC championships. I was part of 3 straight winning teams.
Shortstop?
No, second base.
Okay.
My best friend was shortstop.
There you go.
He was recruited. They called him the next Sean Dunston. His name is William Bates. He was all-state, all-city, CVS, 1989.
What was your vision when you were growing up? What did you see yourself being? Call it between the age of 10, 14. What did you want to do?
Probably, like, when I was a kid, I think that is interesting because you could want to be something, but I feel a component of it is your parents. Because if you have good parents that's just like, you know what, baby? Mom, don't be mad. But if you have good parents that's like, you know what? You can be whatever you want to be, and they tell you that, you really think it. But some people have parents that kind of didn't fully fulfill their dream, or they're living vicariously through you. So some of it is like you could be anything that you want to be, or you could be anything that, like, your parents, like, are pushing you. So at the age of 4, I was playing tennis. I was, like, 4 years old, like Serena, like, literally playing tennis, that I didn't have a choice. But I thought, oh, I must be good at this, so I'm going to be a tennis player. And then, like, on my mom's side of it, she was just like, you either going to be a doctor, lawyer, what's the other black engineer, whatever,
Yeah.
you know, the black mom profession. But it's like, what did I really want to be was probably like a singer, like, yeah, like a singer or like Mariah Carey or something like that.
You couldn't have told me. I was trying to decide whether I was going to play the NBA or NFL or how to make both work.
Okay.
Reality was I went to a school with only 6 people, and of those 6 people, I was probably the 3rd best at each of those sports. So I figured as time went on, I would still be in the middle of the pack. So I could be a journeyman or something. I had the good fortune of going to Whitney Young High School, which had one of the best programs in the city, and went to the basketball tryouts. And my first L was when it was a skins versus shirts game, and I was on the skin side. I was like, oh man. So strike 1. Strike 2, my first pass. The first time I got the ball, I passed it to this kid, and it went through his hands. But they asked me why didn't I just shoot the ball? And
Oh, they going in on you already.
Pass. Then I got to block my next time around. And pulled me to the side. I thought I did good, and they're like, "All right, thank you for your time." So that's 7 minutes of glory without a shirt on, with half of the freshman class watching. Was enough to tear that dream right then and there.
This is a side question. Were you wearing glasses or?
Nope, no glasses.
Okay, just wondering.
No glasses at the time.
Okay.
Definitely needed a haircut because I just wore the do-rag extra long that day.
Oh,
I didn't have
no.
the money. I was that kid. Didn't have the money my parents gave me money for a haircut once every 6 weeks. I didn't. How do you like that? And they had the money too. It wasn't a matter when they were broke. But
hey man, take this tea. You look bad.
I took a lot of L's, so I'm happy to be where I'm at now in life. And this was all the first 2 weeks of high school, y'all. So happy to be where I'm at now. But obviously that dream got dashed pretty quickly and abruptly in a very emotional way. That was a fun 2-train ride home, all the way from the west side, all the way back up north to uptown. But yeah, I quickly realized, all 3 of us have professional sport aspirations, and don't know why no one really told us that, or told me, like, nigga, you need not focus on that. You best get into them books or learn how to tell jokes or be creative or do something, because definitely pro sports was my goal. But, being the number 4 basketball player in a class of 6 is not that path to get there. So I think I think what makes that topic even interesting, and Corey, having you on here, we all talk. It's funny, like Joy and I both are Greek, right? I became a Kappa. I'm a nuke, became a Kappa while I was in college. Joy's SG Row. And one of the things that you learn is the recruitment process can be hard, because a lot of black kids struggle their first 2 years because they take on majors that they're not equipped to do, to Joy's point. And you have people going to be engineers or trying to be doctors or lawyers, and reality is that engineering is a very technical, sophisticated field. Same with medicine. So you're taking those biology and calculus classes your first 2 years, and those are some of the hardest classes you're going to take until you get into your major. And that's typically where a lot of black folks trip up. Not just black, but blacks and minorities, because a lot of times we don't always come from that same backing that just preps us to be ready to and hit those fields. So a lot of people are kind of misguided and don't do aptitude tests to find the field you're best for. I know me, I wanted to be in business, and I couldn't pass pre-calc, so I had to quickly change majors. So again, my dreams got thwarted there, because I thought once I realized I wasn't going to be an athlete, I was like, well, you know what, I'll become an agent, and I'll get 10% of everybody's money that's going to make this team, and then I'll be good from there. But I couldn't pass pre-calc, so that kind of dashed that dream for me. So Corey, what's interesting with you is you're an entrepreneur through and through. Can you kind of tell us about your journey, after you played baseball to where you're at now?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that, but I want to go back to 3 things that you just talked about. Is that when you said you got cut your freshman year at Whitney Young, I got cut my freshman year at St. Francis de Sales. I was sick. I had a cold, and it was tryouts. And it was like, if you miss this tryout, you don't play.
Damn.
So I had to go out there and play, knowing I'm better than everybody else. And I couldn't. And I went to the side and I threw up. And it was like, you straight, you good, you go home or whatever. And then my name wasn't on the sheet the next day.
Damn.
But I didn't give up. I worked hard, I was pissed, and I didn't give up. And I led the whole team in batting average the next year. Bobby Marin was the MVP. He beat me by 10 points. He was like 489. I hit like 465.
Damn.
The next year. Then I moved on to varsity, so I didn't give up also. You know what I'm saying? The third thing is going to college, of people not knowing what classes they should be in. I was privileged of being on a baseball team with a great coach, staff, and upperclassmen that told me, bro, you need to drop this class, bro. You can drop the class or it won't come up on your transcripts and it won't come up on your grade. They would tell us little things of what to do. That's how I found out what major I wanted to be in, because my first major was accounting. And I was like, this is just too boring. What am I going to do? And I opened my mouth and I talked to my teammates, my coach and my staff and other friends that were serious in school and those weren't serious in school. You know, so I just think you got to be aggressive and know really what, like, you have to know the problem of what you get into if you flunk out of school, or if you do this, you have to open your mouth and say something. As a parent, I think that I want to give my children freedom, because your child has to develop their own story. Your story of how you want your children to be, those days are over with. They're going to be their own unique individual. So you have to support them on what they love most, or what they're more passionate about, or creative more on, or smarter in, as it, and incentivize there. So me being a parent is that my children see me every day, and what I'm doing, busting my butt, and the issues that I go through, you know, that you just have to be able to sit down and talk to them about life in general and what they're passionate about, instead of being demanding or telling them what they have to do.
I want to ask you, you know, just on that same note, ask you the question. So you have a 16-year-old son,
yes,
a daughter in college, 18 in college.
Daughter. She's going to college.
Going to college, I'm
She's
sorry.
A senior.
So,
and then a sophomore in college. She'll be 20 soon.
So with them, if what they're passionate about doesn't make money, can you talk about how you as a parent accept that, and then do you still encourage what they want to do?
No, because I have them. I'm working my butt off of them. So regardless if they can't figure it out, they have 3 companies to come back to and run. They'll have household responsibilities, assets, a life insurance policy, things that happen to me, or where to put it and what to do, property, retail business, food business, Bronzeville, things that we do, and my friends and other relationships that are in business. We all take care of each other like that. You know, that's why we travel the world and do pop-ups, so that my kids would have people if they go to Paris or London or Haiti or Africa. You know, me doing these businesses there and creating that gives them the opportunity to really figure it out, get them time to figure it out. But if it don't work out or whatever, they can come back here and help the family business. This is basically how it has to go.
That's like a really interesting point, because when you really think about it, I think a lot of issues just within the Black community is that parents are like looking for their kids to bring them out. Instead, it's like you're more saying that they go out, and whatever they do, they always have something like to come back to. But I remember, like, I never forget, one of my family members had said, you know, like, your mom raised you, so you owe her now. And that's like as an adult. So it's like you have a lot of people. I feel like that sometimes is a mindset, though, that you did this all for your child, so now they have to bring it back, and that sometimes can hinder the child.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean,
I look at my children. I mean, my children don't owe me anything. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Great kids, like, it's their gift to what they have to do around the world, you know, or with whoever they got to do. As long as they're great people and healthy, that's all that really matters to me. It's my job as a father, and my son knows, or my daughters will know how, when they have a family, that what men have to do and what they have to do, and work together and build for the family legacy, basically. Because I think college for me was just a gate hole to just responsibility and knowing who I was. It gave me confidence of going away to college and being able to wash my own clothes, feed myself for 4 years, and then attain an education, basically, and meet great relationships along the way that we're friends to this day. Like, we can call each other and answer the phone to this day. That's what college is for me. You just paying for your kid to go out and just live this life on their own, you know what I'm saying, and have your little piece and let them figure it out for themselves.
And I feel the same way, you know, really by the 7th grade, you know how to read, write, count, and drive. Like, everybody has that base skill. For me, unless you're going into a very specialized or technical field where you need certain skills or knowledge, college is all about showing that you are disciplined enough to show up to class most days for 4 straight years, and you were able to do enough outside of class to do work. That's, to me, all, not
To achieve the
trivializing college.
accomplishment. You achieved the accomplishment of a bachelor's degree.
Correct.
Yeah.
You did what you were supposed to do to get a bachelor's degree.
And now you need to be able to go out and market yourself and that degree to try to make money.
Exactly.
Right. It's just like the skill, like you start something and you finished it. I mean, a lot of people can't say that. So it's like, okay, you started something, you finished it, so you can look back on it and be like, okay, I started this, I finished, I can try something else and start and finish. Yeah, it gives you that confidence.
It takes me 4 years. Like I tell everybody in the business, it takes you 10 years. So it took you, high school, college is 8, college is 4. So most people go get a master's degree because of the stipulations of they have to get this job, no matter how much debt they're in or whatever, to maintain that lifestyle. And that's almost like slavery to me, financial slavery.
So Joy, you started off at college. We started off in computer science.
You mean my first? I changed my major 6 times. So, yeah, I didn't really know what I wanted to be, but I like to start and I did start and I did finish, but I literally started, my dad wanted me to be a physical therapist. So I did physical therapy and I was like, oh shit, I can't pass damn chemistry. Then I'm in chemistry like, what? And then I couldn't pass chemistry. Then I switched to psychology because I like counseling people, but I couldn't pass statistics. From there, I went into art therapy because I love to do art, but I couldn't find like a college in my area that offered the program, so I kind of gave up. Then I went back like, I could be a nurse practitioner. But then I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Take that same chemistry class again.
But I was like, it's not, I don't got to go to medical school. That's why I thought, okay, I could do this. And then from there, what did I do? It's a 5th major that I can't remember right now. And then, and then I was like, okay, I'll be a teacher. I'm good with kids. And it was just easy. It was just like easy for me to do. And I didn't have to go that much longer to get that feel. So that was like my college journey. And it's like, you're a first generation college student. So like you said, to talk to people, you could talk to people, but you got to be wise about who you talking to at the same time. Because if they can't really give you no support or real advice, or they're negative, you still kind of trying to figure it out on your own. So, and depending on if the school you go to too, if it's not a lot of support systems there, you don't know where to go. You kind of just floating. So,
yeah, the support system is
yeah.
It's like everywhere I went, I just been blessed, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky. We were part of the Upward Bound ELP program at college. So, we had a mandatory bridge program. So as soon as we graduated from high school, we had a 6-week on campus. You had to stay in a dorm bridge program where you took, some of those harder classes that statistically first generation and minority students struggled the most with. So we took that during the summer. So when the real class came, we were better set up for success in that. Then you also got a credit in your Western Civ class, and that was a big 500-person auditorium class. So we didn't have to do that class because we already had that credit out the way. So we had a few advantages in that regards. And if you weren't passing the class, they were like, yo, this major isn't for you. So, I mean, I started off in the School of Business under the marketing field because at Marquette, marketing was under School of Business. So I just moved over to advertising and public relations because it's close enough to marketing. And I didn't need that math class. I just needed the math class that I already passed. And then I got to go to Harold Washington because college communications was easier to take on credits. But I knew what I wanted to be. I just had no idea how to get there because it was a long ass path. So cool.
Figured it out.
Yeah, I did. So Corey, I want to pick your brain a little bit. I know that, coming out of Southern, you mentioned yesterday you used to teach and then you started going into business on your own. So can you kind of take us through that journey on the last, call it 20 years, just to kind of tell people how you got to where you're getting? Because I think a lot of people have ideas. A lot of people want to do stuff. A lot of people see what you have and see what you've done and think it's easy. If they come up with some clever sayings and print some T-shirts and do this, that they can do what you do. But I think people don't understand your process and how you got here, not just your process and the steps you've taken, but the process in terms of your mindset on how to get from point A to point B.
I didn't get drafted, so I
You're talking and just so we know, you didn't get drafted to play major league or minor league baseball.
Minor league baseball, yeah.
Yep.
So I needed like 18 more hours left of school. So I chilled my way my last year. Coach still took care of me because it was some like loophole in the ineligibility rule. And when I got hurt my freshman year. I tore my ACL, so that's what they thought that it would affect me later on. And I didn't want a red shirt, all right, because I played like half the season. And so he was like, "Corey, you want to come back as a sophomore?" This is my sophomore year.
Gotcha.
Come back as a sophomore, come back as a junior. I was like, "I'm coming back as a junior. I'm getting drafted anyway."
Yeah.
So that was my mind. I was like, "I'm getting drafted anyway. I'll come back as a junior. I'm gone next year." My whole thing wasn't I wasn't even going to finish college, honestly. We was that good. But coach will always say, go to class. And I went to class, and then I didn't get drafted. I needed 18 hours left. That was easy. I went to summer school. I took fall couple. I worked, took a fall class, a spring class, graduated in the summertime. Came home, my aunt is like, "Corey, they need black guys in the class, man. All these older black teachers are women and not too many men. These kids getting out of hand. They need young male teachers. Where can you work from 9 to 3, get the weekends off and summer offs, and make $40,000?
Yeah.
I was like, "You right." Bet.
Until you got there.
You get holidays off, you get weekends off, you know what I'm saying? I was like, "Bet. I ain't got to go back to school." She's like, "No, don't worry about that. Just get this money right quick." She hooked us up with some principals. We got hired immediately. I'm making money. Like, You know what I'm saying? In the field, I never thought I was like a teacher. Like, man, they put me in a kindergarten class.
Oh, wow.
First grade class. Then they put me into, so I taught at Fuller, right, on 43rd. And, oh, man, what's the name of the street? It's not Prairie. It's like St. Lawrence. Projects used to be there.
Okay.
This is 1995. They running substitute teachers out of there. Like drill they running them out, like mad, like I can't take it anymore. So they're like, "Corey, you got to go up to the worst class ever. You got to go up to 7.
Yeah, let's say.
You got to go up to 302 as the 7th grade class, and they're the worst. They just ran a drill sergeant out of there. So I'm like, oh my God, what am I about to do? So I just go up in there and I'm like, "You know what, man? I'm from Colfax. What are you doing? Man, sit down. What's wrong with y'all? What's going on?" I just really talk to them. When teaching them, talking to them, I just let them talk to me. And I talked to them about things they were going through. They knew to pull me to the side and talk to me about real issues. Like I had a kid whose mom just wanted to screw me in the classroom. I'd be like, "Man, no.
Yeah.
Like, get away from me." Like girls, like 12-year-old girls, like, "Mr. Gilkey, I don't have any, you know what I'm saying, I'm on my period, I don't have any pads. I just want to let you know that, da-da-da. Like, go to the bathroom, I'll reach out to somebody else."
Yeah.
So I didn't have most of my credentials to teach, really, to get the upper echelon payment. And the older teachers didn't like my philosophy. They just wanted to be by the book. Sit down, shut up, y'all ain't going to be nothing, read this, do this, turn this homework, da-da-da-da-da. It was just from an old school method of teaching.
Yep.
And they didn't understand, but in the hallways, my kids used to terrorize the hallway, and they'll be with me. They'd be like, "How you get to the lineup and don't say nothing?" I would take privileges away from them, like things that they were able to do. That I knew could like show them a good movie on Friday nights that they can learn from, and we'd talk about it after that.
Yeah.
So when I took that away, like, if y'all act up right here, you know what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna keep you after school. Y'all gotta write this. They hated that.
Gotcha.
But we did do a little work, and I did make a significant impact in there. Then our principal got fired. They moved another principal in, and then all the older teachers, like, "These young teachers got to go, da-da-da-da." She brought in her team, and then, I had to find another school. It's like, "You know what, we're going to let you go. Here's recommendations of other schools you can go to." Da-da-da. My kids like, "Bro, are you serious?" Then I went to Carnegie for just like a summer. Just got paid to work in summer school.
Yep.
This is easy check.
Yeah.
And then that was cool. And then I went to Coles Elementary on 83rd. I only taught for like 2.5 years, a year. And then I was just like, me and my cousin looked at each other and was like, "Hey man, ain't nowhere for us to shop on the south side." He was like, "Yeah, we keep going to Briar, we keep going to Jewtown, man, or the Plaza. Like, why can't we have something in our neighborhood?"
Yeah.
So we're like, "Let's open a store." And then his father had passed away, so he got an insurance amount. And then, our grandparents and everybody came together, pooled some money for us, and we opened up our first shop called Crew.
Where's Crew located?
87th and Kimbark.
Okay.
Yes. The first year we did $250,000. The second year we did.
What was your goal? You saying you did 250? What was your goal? What were you hoping to do?
We didn't know what we were doing. We met a friend named Bruce, and he hooked us up, took us to the Maddie show, and it was over with. Just like that. We knew what we had to do. We knew what our people wanted.
Gotcha.
And nobody was doing it. And it was all just buying black designers. It was just all buying Maurice Malone, Carl Kanai, Shabazz Brothers, Fat Farm, Mecca, bringing that back to the hood. Dada hats. You know,
that's right.
You know, so we brought that back, and people just ate it alive, man. Like ate it. They loved it. They loved us. We were from the community.
Nice.
Took care of people, and they seen us invest our money back in our businesses where we grew substantially in a year and a half.
So tell us about that growth. I think you said you had just a little small plot. Then you.
No, we had probably 1,200 square feet.
Okay.
And then 2 years later, we were 10,000 square feet with 3 stores.
Damn. You figured out the formula.
We did, but we mismanaged the formula also. We didn't know. We were just young bucks. We had all this money was coming in. I'll be in New York for a week. You know, like buying. I'm at the iceberg office, like eating caviar and stuff, and buying Prada. And,
for your own personal, not for the store, just to have it.
No, just because in order, so in the industry, in order to get specific brands and looks, you have to be of that. So I can't go in with a Mecca outfit on and go ask for iceberg and it's a $600 sweater.
Gotcha.
I gotta have on a button-up Prada shoes, Banana Republic jeans, briefcase. You know, so I had to invest back in that because that's where we were going. We were going more designer.
Gotcha.
We had a little bit of everything. We had urban and we had designer at one time.
And no one else was doing that on the South Side.
No. Lenny Rothschild was doing it. The Lark was doing it.
Okay.
You know, that's his that high-end urban business. He owned it in the 80s and 90s. Lenny Rothschild.
Okay.
Yeah, from the Lark. Yeah, so we gained a lot of respect from that, from the industry. From everybody noticed us. Every big store, we would have talked. When we went to trade shows, all the Korean guys and Arab guys would follow us to see what we were buying and bought it the same way.
Damn.
That makes sense.
So what ended up happening with that first store?
We wound up having to owe a lot of money, having to sell it to JB's, which is logistically, we just didn't know how to run it. We made a major mistake, which I don't take away. I love every minute of it. The pain, the suffering after it, the humiliation, people laughing at us, letting down the community. It drove me, you know, to keep working. Like I didn't lock myself. I didn't disappear for 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? After Crew, I got a job immediately. You know what I'm saying? Lenny hired me immediately as a shoe consultant for his 8 stores around the United States.
At the Lark.
He had stores in St. Louis, Indiana, North Carolina, 5 in Chicago, and I'll move around all those stores and consult them on what we needed to buy, how we need to set up our footwear program. So it built my consulting business. So when I asked people for a consultant fee, they would give it to me. Like, I did this. It's on record. Like, what I did for this man's business. I helped this $25 million business make $32 million in 6 months just by adding footwear.
You made $32 million for him in 6 months?
No, it rose.
That's like a $7 million.
Either way, though.
Yeah,
Either way.
I created his footwear business for him. Then after that, he figured out how to do it. And as a consultant, that's what you do. You get paid for what you're telling them to do. They don't have to keep you on. And it was a good thing. It was time for me to grow and move on. He knew he couldn't stop me, and he knew what he wanted to get to in life and in his business, and I knew that. So immediately when he said, Corey, you know, we're going to save money, we kind of figured out, thank you, I'm a friend, anything you need, and he still is. I got hired the next day to be a sales manager for Varsity Clothing. They paid me salary, they gave me commission, they paid for all my expenses.
Oh, wow.
You know, so... then they still did that for me, and I was able to pick up Pony footwear, Pony apparel. So then I opened a sales agency called Focus Group Inc., which is my consultant company, which is still a consultant company that I use right now.
To this day?
To this day.
Nice.
It's a 20-year company. 18, because I started that in 2000. Leaders is 15, that was 2002. Focus Group was 2000. So Focus Group, we managed the Midwest, and we sold our friends' brands or different brands that contracted us to be salesmen. So that's when the times that we road trip. We went to every store in Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Missouri, and those were our accounts. We sold them the clothes. That was my business. And then that's when I hired Vic and Mike. Because
Who's
that's
Vic?
when I founded Vic and Mike.
Who's Vic and Mike? Just so we all know.
Vic Lloyd from
Okay.
Fat Tiger Works, Sensei, the Godfather. One of the Godfathers loved this guy. Like, he's the one who helped take leaders to the stratosphere. Just his look, his image, owning the nightlife, being part of the music scene, being very influential in that. Mike also. I hired them as my sales managers. Then I opened up leaders.
Okay.
I had a manager there, but they were just on the road with me, like taking appointments and things of that nature. And then when my manager left, I filled them into the storeroom. And then we kind of did start doing great. I said, forget wholesale. We're just going to do retail right now.
Okay.
So that was leaders before 2002. We moved to 1354 East 53rd Street. And that's what it was. I just sold my friends' brands because when I was a sales rep, I would be like, okay, I have Varsity Pony. I have these second tier fashion lines. Remember, it was all about Fat Farm, Mecca, Nietzsche, Academics, Azure.
Even Esco to an extent, yeah.
The Esco was little. They had like a 1-2 year run. But
Yeah.
these are the guys who was making FUBU like $35 million a year. Mecca was doing $20 million. Fat Farm was doing like $25 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So all of the guys who owned stores were Arab and Asian, basically. They would just go to what was hot, what was making them money, which is smart. But we were like, yo, we're not getting no business a little bit. We getting a little business. Some of the black-owned guys, Hispanic guys that were really in the streets, really in the hoods,
Yep.
they'd be like, this is the shit. This is what we want to buy. We was buying friends' brands like Mesquine. We helped develop Mesquine, the hand-painted shirts.
Yep.
Ken Yohadi from Philly. He's the one who founded that. Scott Sasso from 10 Deep. We've been selling 10 Deep since 2002. It's been
I didn't know
15
that.
years consistently.
I did not know that.
Yes. And these are like black-owned brands. 555 Soul wasn't black-owned, but we were selling 555 Soul, Von Dutch hats. We just gave people a different look. Like, oh, I don't have to have a fit no more. I can just buy this tee.
Were you selling that out of leaders or were you repping those brands?
No, we were selling out of leaders because those people wasn't buying those brands. So I was like, I'm going to sell my friends' brands. All these 10 guys that are making as much money as they should, I'm going to open a store and call it leaders because I want my customers to be leaders. I don't want them to be able to go to BET and be like, damn, we want to get that whole fit today, Joe. Dude got on. Let's go get it. Let's all go look alike. We want the guys to be like, that's dope. I'm going to put that on. I'm going to be different from dude. Dude, they was whack. You know?
Yeah.
So
you started off wanting to be from college, so call it from 17 to probably 23, give or take. You wanted to be a professional baseball player.
yes.
And then you've gone on to a business owner, not only like owning your own brick and mortar store, owning your own consultancy, then your own sales agency, then your own retail group. Can you explain to people how, after the baseball dream went up, the abrupt teacher, job ended or whatever, you said you figured there's no clothes for you. You had to go to other neighborhoods to buy your clothes. Can you explain like what made you think you would be good at this?
I didn't really care. It's just what I wanted to do. I've always been that way. If I wanted to do something, I just went out and did it. I was always doubted, and I just always knew if I gave it 100%, I'd do it. And I'm not scared of failure whatsoever.
What does that mean? You're not afraid of failure?
I'm not scared to fail. If it's something that I want to do and it's my concept, then I'm going to do it. There's no such thing as failure. I know from my resources and relationships and what we've been able to do that I'll get people through the door.
I think like the component of failure is probably what keeps majority of people back. That's like the difference that like sets people apart from one another. Because like my question would be like how you had said your 3 points and one was never to give up. Mine would be like, I feel like it's people out there who like never give up, but they're doing like the wrong thing. It's like, okay, like for you could have chose to just continue to be a teacher and then like never give up on the kids, even though really you had this other outside passion or thing that you noticed. So I guess my question would be like, how did you decide stop doing one thing to move to another? Like it's sometimes when you do have to give up on something, it's just not working, but some people just won't let it go.
Yeah, that's just hard. I've been blessed to not have to do that. But it was when I got laid off, like with school, and we got frustrated with they was pressuring us to go back to school, and I just did not want to do. School like was so boring to me. Like I just don't get it. I was always a terrible student. I was always a CDF borderline guy. Always. When the teaching opportunity kind of ended and we started forward, I was like, you know what, man? I'm just gonna work for myself from now on. I'm not working for nobody else. No, I'm never gonna get the job that I think that I should get or want. I just put that all on me. I don't know if you should have, that's negativity though. I was like, I'm never going to get the job I want. Never, or what I deserve from what I've done. But I'm 27 years old. I shouldn't.
Okay.
I'm still growing.
Yeah.
But that's just me, the ego in me to be like, I'm just going to do my own thing. I failed at the skate shop. I had to close my first skate shop. I failed having 2 locations. I had a location in Bronzeville and Wicker Park. I couldn't keep them both. I failed at Crew. I can say I failed because, honestly, from the other stores or growth of Chicago, I could really have 5 or 6 stores here, right?
Yeah.
Do you think? I could really
Definitely.
have 5 or 6 stores all around Chicago. Milwaukee Avenue, Bronzeville, Hyde Park. I'm in West Loop now. I can even have a store, manage and run it, but I failed at doing it. I'm not good at multiple retail stores in different areas. I know how to do one and make that one the best.
Yes.
Where that's home. Everybody knows to go to. It's hard to duplicate that feeling with 5 or 6 other doors. That's what I was doing. I just focused on the one store.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I did fail and closed door.
But the key component is that you already said is that you realize like, oh, I'm not good at this, so I'm gonna stop doing it. I feel like it's a lot of people who are like, who just refuse to see that part, like what they're really, really good at and what they're really not so good at, but it might look good to other people. Yeah, it looks good to other people to have 5 stores and have your stores all over the city, but you're really not good at that. So it's kind of brave to be able to be like, you know what, I'm not good at this. This is what works for me. This is what I'm going to do. So.
Well, I learned. I had great mentor. Like, I've seen guys close a shop. I mean, I was there. Like, this retail community is pretty small. Like, I know a bunch of retailers, 30, 40-year-old guys, 30, 40-year-old retailers. And we've built, like, friendships with those guys. I've talked to guys' dads who've been in business 50 years. And I've gotten just some incredible advice. You know, one is, save for a rainy day. Because the day comes, I don't care how big you are, or what brand you are. The rainy day comes, and then what?
Gotcha.
So you just got to utilize everything. It's been 20 years for me. So Diego would say the same thing. Like, we've just been in the business. We learned. We've made mistakes. Diego would tell you so many downfalls he's had and so many great, huge accomplishments. I just think that goes with life. That's in life. So I think that even though the youth is kind of uneducated over things, they have to make these mistakes to see if this is really who they are. It builds character in this.
You've had 5 successful, and you have your ups and downs along the way. So, Joy, can you talk a little bit about your majors and then kind of your career path since you left out of college? Because even now, you and I, we could say we're doing all right for ourselves. Can you talk a little bit about kind of that aha moment when you realize, you know what, I'm probably not going to be on the WTA tennis tour with Steffi Graf,
the U.S. Open champion.
Yeah, to being lovely wife and mother of my kids.
Newly in the bun in the oven.
Yeah.
I would say, first of all, I remember my 5th damn major. The 5th major was political science, which I did finish. So I was actually political science at elementary education. So I thought, okay, what I'm going to do one day, I'm going to run for a political office, or I'm going to, be a teacher for a while.
Teach history too, right? Yeah.
I actually teach math. That's what's even more screwed up. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This show is for me. Basically, yeah, I did the political science. I went to like Ghana and Liberia and was an education liaison for a while. So I knew I wanted to work in education for in a higher level someday. With the Chris Rock joke, it's more like you figure out what you're good at, and then you figure out how can I move up or succeed once I'm in that field. So I had my principal endorsement. I consider sometimes, should I be a principal or things like that? But it's the same joke. No, when I was a kid, I didn't dress up as a principal. It's you just got to make it work. Once you in this field and it's working for you, you just got to find ways to make it work instead of, I just feel like people just be doing too much. It's figure out what you're good at and then try to find like things within that are going to make you happy. If you like working with kids, but you're not good in the classroom, don't be in the classroom, because you kind of making these kids suffer. And I feel like it's like a lot of teachers who just won't give up. It's like, give up. Like, you suck. Yeah, like, just move on. Like, you could work in higher education. You could work in an after school program. If the kids get on your nerves 8 hours a day, be with them 4 hours. You know, it's just like, find the thing you're good at. Like, if you're good at like advertising, marketing, sports, and all that, like, so you work within that field and find what works for you. That's what I'm trying to do. Just find like what works for me within education, and like how I can make an impact. What I learned about myself is no matter what I'm doing, I want to be able to like make an impact. So I feel like that's what I'm good at, like finding ways to make impacts.
I think one of the big reasons I wanted to work on this podcast with you is you're not, for me, the 9 to 5 is a means to an end. That's not the end. And I think a lot of us, we've made that job our end, or we find some level of complacency or comfort in the fact that we're going to be making X amount, you know, per year, and we can afford our mortgage or our rent and our car note, and then we become satisfied with that. But the reality is, you know, I'm blessed to be in, you know, doing something close to what I wanted to do. Once I realized I was never going to be an athlete, I get to work in sports. I get to work with Corey and the Blackhawks on product launches. So, you know, I think I'm blessed to have the 9 to 5 job that I have, because it takes two things that I'm personally passionate about. But I think, you know, for me, I graduated, you know, from Marquette, won American Ad Federation Most Promising Minority Student Award, 25 people in the country selected, full page spread in Ad Age magazine, had a lot of recruiters, you know, knocking my door down, but they wanted me to move to New York, and that wasn't the move I could make. So I stayed in Milwaukee, interned at an agency. They didn't hire me full time because I didn't know how to work 9 to 5. I knew how to do the minimum, like, of what was asked of me. I didn't know how to do what was needed of me, if that makes any sense to people. And they didn't hire me, and they hired the other girl from Madison, and I was just mad and jealous and furious. But looking back at it 15 years later, like, oh shit, I shouldn't have been hired. I can say that honestly. So I failed at being a good employee. And so I had to come home, swallow my pride, move in with my mama. Couldn't find any jobs, so I used to be a relief doorman and a maintenance man during the summer for apartment complexes. So I became a maintenance guy at 420 East Ohio, full green pants, full T-shirt, the big-ass janitor keys that jangled. I was doing that with a college degree after being featured in Ad Age. So that was a huge hit to my pride. And most people don't know that part of me. Most people don't know that, like, I was, you know, we didn't have a snowblower, so I had to like shovel a full city block when it snowed outside. You know, it was a pet building, so I was, you know, cleaning up dog shit in 101-degree weather. You know, eventually I just got tired of that and became a doorman, and then finally I got a break at Burrell Communications. But all you know, all of that humbled the shit out of me, because I was,
and taught you how to work.
Yeah, it taught me how to work. Like, because
dang.
You know, I remember somebody hit me on the walkie one time. Like, Coley, we used to have codes for everything. Like, you know, if you were taking a shit, you were in the library. If a dog took a shit, like, hey, the dog went to the library outside, so that's what you knew. And one day this guy was like, hey, the dog just went to the library outside, and it's not going to clean itself up. And I'm like, oh man. Like, that's my job, to clean this shit up. That's literally what I am. So once I realized that, like, you know what? I'm going to be the best shit cleaner there is, so I can make sure I keep this check going, so I can eventually have the money so I can buy a suit. So when I do have my first interview at an ad agency, I'll be ready for that. I'll be ready to rock and roll. I'll be able to get the haircut that I need to look clean when it's ready to rock and roll. So it's all realizing, like, for me, the job is a means to an end. And what that end is, you know, I still haven't figured it out. I'm still that, you know, chubby kid thinking I can be a pro athlete. Or you remember that movie The Wiz, where they were professional video gamers? I thought I was going to be like that on Super Mario Brother. I remember, what was it, the Power Glove came out. I thought I was going to be a professional video gamer. I really thought I was going to be a journalist, and my dad said, get used to being hungry. Because I really like writing, but my dad, you know, he didn't encourage that. He said, just be ready to be hungry. I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I get it now. So, you know, so this is a long-winded way of saying is I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I'm happy with the space that I'm in right now. But it's a long journey to get there. And I just say, if you don't know what you want to do, there's if you're not that you that you see in front of you, like keep on trugging along because you're going to figure something out and you're going to be able to find happiness in something. Like sitting here right now makes me happy. Being with you makes me happy. Talking to you yesterday, Corey, having to, being able to sit in the store with you and, Leon Rogers, like just you talking, like that just makes me happy. That's why I love just coming to Leaders just to sit there because that makes me happy just to talk and to learn and all that other good shit. So, I look forward. For me, I just look forward to like what's next. We got a lot of cool stuff planned for the rest of this year with with my 9-to-5 job at New Era and with you. And I look forward to what this podcast can be, and maybe we can broadcast an episode out of your store one day, or do a Leaders Radio or something like that. Man,
Good deal.
Cool. So, Corey, you want to spend a little bit, just so as we start to wrap up the show, I want to talk a little bit about all your ventures you have coming on. So you started, what's very intriguing to me is, I really started hanging around you guys a lot, call it last year, and that's right around the time you were kicking off Boxville. So everybody knows, you're probably most known for starting Leaders and being the founder of that and what you've brought to the table there and all the people that have come through there. But now you have other ventures going on around the world. Can you talk about some of those?
Yeah, we have Boxville, the shipping container community in Bronzeville. We use shipping containers and we want to build them out and rent them out to independents and not just, so it won't depend on this small independent person who can't afford first and last month security, equipment, staff, inventory. You can come get a table or rent out the space and come sell your products. So it gives you the confidence to come in without not having to put your house up for sale or borrow significant amounts of money to build your brand. You can build it organically, use all your social media, and we have other vendors around you too. So it's just not up to you to say, oh, my friends and family, and I hope these people just figure me out on Facebook or just scroll and see that my ad and hopefully they'll come to my pop-up. No, you have 10 to 12, 15 other people there bringing their family and friends. So it's a good model of networking and their family and friends to come to your booth and yours to go to them and everybody spend money with each other.
Okay.
And that our dollars stay within our community to build up Bronzeville with restaurants, retail stores, things of that nature. But the process is to inspire and make it a real minimal expense for them to spend money and finance. Also, we use the Jerk Shack as a pop-up restaurant. So it's rented out to chefs and culinary people who want to try out their menu or dishes. They have a full-fledged restaurant that you can use, fryers, griddles, freezers, refrigerators, 3-compartment sink, just everything square, mobile compartments for POS system, things of that nature, free Wi-Fi. Wow. So they give you the whole 9 yards for a minimal fee for you to come in and kind of create and cook. So that's taking off like crazy. I have a meeting right after this with the chefs that we brung on that we're part of Freestyle just from the collaborations we've done and the 9 cookings that we've done since November. We've getting cater opportunities. Other venue spaces want to take over days. So we have to go schedule ourselves. Somebody might have to quit a job and like really roll it out fast. Wow. So it's my job logistically to get it out, to plan and schedule so that we'll know what finances come in and find the right partners so we can cook and prepare our dishes and what we have to do and what we can and can't do, what's difficult for us for transportation, things of that nature, for us to kind of really make it into a business.
How'd you come up with this idea to do a palm frites business?
Going to Brussels, Belgium. I went to Brussels, Belgium, and then as soon as you get off the train, it's like 5 or 6 little French fry spots, like 500 square feet, some 350 square feet, fryers in there, and all they do is cook fries. Mm-hmm. They just make a palm frite, a light palm frite. It's a double fried fry. If you don't know, it's a process of cooking it. It's mostly not frozen fries. It's a process of doing it. And then they will have like 30 different sauces. So you can get a hot sriracha, honey mustard, peanut sauce, and they do all those sauces. So you just dip them in. So there, you just dip them in. And I was like, I would love to do that. And that's what my mind aspect of business we just talked about. I love small things. I love to deal with small concepts and focus on just a few things. Okay. Small concepts that drive my business. And the potato drives my business with that. So, and it can be small. I don't have to come up with $250,000 for a restaurant. All of this stuff. I can find a pop-up kitchen like this. I can rent 2 fryers with propane tank and go out and kind of create and do my thing.
Would you ever do a food truck?
No, not here in Chicago. No, it's not really worth it. Most food trucks, I believe, is just marketing for really good restaurants.
Okay.
They have a lottery system here, and it's, the winter gets harsh and brutal. Then you have to prepare outside of the truck. You have to prepare at another prep kitchen. Then put it on the truck, then roll out and see what spaces you can get. They have thousands of dollar fines for if you're 200 feet from other restaurants here.
Yeah.
So where can you go where people are spending money? Besides the dry deserts, you have to worry about security and things of that nature. So not for me.
Okay.
We want to be welcoming inside because we love to play our own music and create an atmosphere for what we do there. So that's doing great. And then we do our globalization stuff. We want to still grow and help mold and be able to go where the America says is a shithole, and these poor people, when I go to Africa and Haiti, those are the most happiest people that I ever met in my life with nothing. And it's to go out there and help them create. It's to go out there and give them art supplies and see us painting a mural or playing a movie for them because they can't go to a movie theater, playing soccer with them, hopefully donate shoes and cleats and have a DJ come out there, cook for them. So we do that.
Wow.
And collaborate with different artists all over, yeah.
My biggest hope is that anybody listening and watching this, we got video now, people, is that you walk away, just because what you dream to be doesn't happen doesn't mean it's over. You can definitely have an impact on this road and find happiness with other methods, and you can find something that you're good at. This is for all of us. What would you say you're good at doing then?
Managing my money, looking at it every day and seeing what I'm going to spend it on and what's going to bring me back, and who we got to put in play to get it, and taking care of staff. But it's the whole logistics. I just got into that mode. I think that's the most important aspect of business is how much you buy, what you willing to buy, not letting things spoil, not letting things get stolen, things of that nature. This is making a significant amount to run your business, pay your staff, and the profit, and to save for a rainy day.
Got you. Joy?
Well, I mean, like I said, I would just say, I feel like I'm good at, making an impact or, going someplace and kind of, being a change agent of a sort, seeing how things are and then, kind of making them better, but without just taking over. Finding what you're good at is really just knowing the good within yourself. If you don't know who you are or you don't really believe in your own self, you'll never really find what you're good at because you're always beating your own self down. So I think it's really important to just have your own identity and not have your identity wrapped up in a career or what other people think. Just be good at yourself. If you're good at you, you'll be good at something. It's inevitable.
I think for myself, I think my biggest skill is being able to tell a story. I think a lot of people have ideas. I think a lot of people have talent, but a lot of people can't put it into a digestible story or presentation or something that other people can vibe with. I wanted to be a writer for the longest time, and I still like writing. I don't do it enough. I still like writing, but being able to tell a story, no matter what it is, I feel like that's kind of a lost art. I feel it's more of a science that a lot of people haven't figured out how to do, knowing that, being a pro athlete was never in the cards, being an engineer was never in the cards, but being able to tell a story is something I feel like, one of my greatest strengths and that I'm really good at. And, fortunately, I have a career in marketing right now, and now we have a podcast that allows me to flex that muscle as much as I can, and hope that I can, hopefully use that and eventually get to the point where I can create experiences where people have somebody that they can commiserate. You don't feel alone. I want people to know the story, because you didn't make this team, it's not over for you. You got cut and tried again and made it and went on to have a good D1 career. I missed the team, but I work with the NBA now. I go to the All-Star game. I'm close to the game still. So there's still a path and there's still a way. Just find that skill, find that strength, and keep on moving. We like to wrap up every show, Corey, with this little segment of things we wish we would have known. I think it's just looking back at life. Joy and I are both 36 now, and it's damn, I wish I would have known this when I was younger. I wish I would have known this. It would have made life a little bit easier had I known that. But, everything that happens for a reason. But is there something that you wish you would have known when you were younger that you think could have helped propel you or help you in, the endeavors that you're doing now that you wish you would have known?
Is there something I wish I would have known? Nope. I take my full story in life just how it is. I wasn't supposed to know. That's how I look at life. Things are supposed to happen. But no, I don't even look back anymore. I'm looking so ahead. And the possibilities of this real Wakanda, how I could be a part of that and be instrumental in really making it happen. Mm-hmm. And my community and businesses all over the world is the only thing that's on my mind.
Like, since I'm pregos, I would say what I wish I when I was pregnant, you get so excited, you want to tell everybody, But the thing I wish I would have known is like some information is like your information to hold. And like, as soon as you let that information out, you kind of give somebody else control of your own story. So I think that a lesson I want to just give out there, if it's something that's really important to you, you want to share it, but really think about it, because once you let it out there, it's like no longer yours. So never give people the information where they could tell a story for you when it's yours.
I think one thing I wish I would have known, I think a lot about, a lot of people, blame their parents for this. I wish my parents would have did this. I wish I would have did that. I wish I would have known, like, they were trying their best. They were trying based on what they knew. So it's very easy to focus on what they didn't do. Wish I would have, known all, focus more on all the good that they were doing. You don't appreciate it. I mean, I was fortunate enough to go to a private elementary school. My mom and dad helped pay for college and books and all that stuff. So wish I would have, not something I wish I would have known, but just wish I would have really appreciated more all the good shit that they were doing and not focus so much on the stuff that didn't happen and use those as excuses or barriers to help, me move forward. So just one of those things, So I hope when our son hears this, when he's old enough, he knows, like, yo, we might have fucked this up, but we did a lot more good.
Don't compare us to your friends.
It's gonna happen back to you.
Yeah.
That's your parents, it's gonna happen back to you.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen, so just let it go. Like I told you, when it happened, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids not gonna listen at a certain age with things. Don't understand it.
Yeah, exactly. So, Corey, thank you again.
Thank you, yeah.
Being the first guest on the Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody podcast. Appreciate you.
Gotcha. You weren't boring or anything, so thank you.
And that's
awesome.
And that's the show, episode 3, everybody, in the books.
That was a joke.
Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody podcast.
Sarcasm.